Here we are, it's January, only January, and you're probably thinking, Will, I'm in holiday hangover mode. I don't even want to think about doing a digital conversion project, but now is exactly the perfect time that you do want to be thinking about it, especially if you are on the June 30th fiscal year cycle. So many of our clients, I'd say probably 70% or so are on that fiscal year cycle, and yes, it's 6 months away. So that's exactly why now is the perfect time to talk about a microfilm scanning project and how to get ready for it. The first thing is you want to plant the budget seed. You don't want to wait until it's May and now you're scrambling. You want to just plant the little seed now for getting a budget ready, scoping out the project, seeing what you need to do, getting some quotes. Great oaks come from little seeds, but you have to plant the seed first. So the reason to do it early is just to get that in. Of course, if you're thinking about the project and you're the one that wants to do it, it's not just you. You have to kind of plant that seed with other people so they start hearing that earworm of, okay, project digitization. Yeah, they'll keep saying it's too early. You know that, but just consistent reinforcement of we should be doing digitization. I'm getting quotes. I have some project scopes. I know what we're looking at. You want to do that so that you have the number, at least a general number that you can be budgeting for, potentially budgeting for when these meetings start happening, usually around March, April, May. And the other thing is you want to get your funds in, at least have people thinking about your project before everyone else starts crushing the budget office when it gets closer to Q2 and the end of Q2, when everyone really is rushing to get their funds. If you've been at there from the beginning, they've been hearing about you, you've been talking to them for your digital conversion project, you're probably gonna be the cream floating up to the top. Yeah, it doesn't have to be January 1st, but I mean, it should be January, February. Another reason you want to start early is because scanning projects typically start out simple, but they can change. So if you have 4,000 rolls of microfilm, you're thinking, all right, I want to scan these 4,000 rolls of microfilm. That's fantastic. And you can have a high level number like, oh, it's going to be, $80 to $100,000 just for fun. That is a high level number, but as you start digging into it, saying, well, these are actually 215-foot duplex rolls. Okay, that's going to change the number a bit. Or, I don't want roll level indexing. I want every file on those rolls indexed. Okay, that's going to change the project too. Maybe you want the thing done by August. So instead of a 4-month project, now it's going to be a 45-day project. All these things will affect the overall scope, but at least you have that starting number. And over the next few months, January, February, March, April, as we get closer to really submitting that budget for your project, you can tweak it, have a more refined scope of work that is just gonna present better to the budget office. So they say, wow, you've really thought about this, you've planned it out, all these other people are rushing, sending in requests last minute. You have a whole plan, it's refined, it's defined, and the plan's there. Now, I already mentioned a few times that as April, May comes around, especially late May, early June, companies like ours usually get hammered by people saying, hey, I actually have some money right now, I need to get this project done. Or, hey, I need to submit a budget, can you get me a quote in a week? It can be done, it just makes these much more difficult. It's harder to budget for because, again, if you said, I have 4,000 rolls, I need a budget. Okay, here's your, call it $90,000 project, just for fun. And you submit that, let's say you actually get the money, but then you come back later and say, okay, but I want A, B, C, and D. A company like ours will say, well, you didn't say any of that. We budgeted for just basic scanning, roll level index. You didn't say it was 215-foot rolls with duplex images, 5,000, 10,000 images a roll where you want file level indexing. You just said you have 4,000 rolls. We assumed it was A, B, and C. So having that rush, that last minute crush, when a lot of organizations are doing this, they wait till the last minute and then they need things right away. There's a lot of moving parts of these projects, so why go through that? Start early, refine it, make sure you are all on the same page and you have a more precise budget so you don't have to say, oh, sorry, budget office, I need an extra 25% budget because we didn't look at this early enough. Now, another part about starting early and then not waiting until that last minute like everyone else is if you're in that crush of projects that are flowing into your procurement office, maybe your project's on the bottom of the stack and they get to say, well, we've already assigned all the funds, you'll have to wait till next year. I don't know. Or maybe they just miss it. Someone forgets about it. And then 3 weeks later they say, where are the funds for my budget? And they say, what budget? I didn't get that. Maybe something got misfiled or an email didn't get seen, whatever it was. If you start early, you can mitigate those, alleviate those issues by talking to folks early, knowing that they have the materials they need, they know about the project, they know the cost, so they can start budgeting and get some procurement for that. Now, one last little thing that doesn't always work, but it might, are residual funds. If you have a project set, let's say it's March or early April, you already know what the project is, you have the scope, you have the timeline, you know the price within about 5%, you think this is gonna be it, and you've presented that, and the procurement folks have that, they may just come back late May, early June, mid-May, whatever it is, and say, you know what, you have a $100,000 project, we actually have $50,000 that were not used from this other project, so since you have everything in place, do it now. At least get $50,000 done on this project so we can use the funds from current fiscal year so we don't have to wait until the next fiscal year. We've seen it happen. We've gotten calls in early June saying, hey, I have X number of dollars, but you have to do it and bill me by 30 June, and we say, okay, but because they were already prepared, we were able to do that. If you haven't gone through this process, if you're waiting till May, if you're waiting till June to even talk about projects and getting scopes and quotes and proposals, you're not gonna have that even chance of getting those residual funds to potentially do a project before you thought it even happened. So there's why, even though it's only January, you wanna start planning out your microfilm scanning project, because there are a lot of aspects to go into it. You want to be ready, you want to get the budgeting for it, you want to look like you're prepared, have all the materials you need, and you never know, you might just get those residual funds so you can even start the project current fiscal year rather than even having to wait till July 1st. And what you can do if you're wondering, well, how do we pay for this project? So I have the number, I have the scope, but how are we gonna pay for this project? What you can do is watch this video, how to pay for a digital scanning project, that gives you a couple different options of how we've worked with customers over the many decades to have projects paid for. So thank you for watching, and start planning now.